just like having people trust you and trust your judgment, but also holding you in check. I mean, Ryan sent me a phrase because I was questioning the decision, and he sent me a phrase from the NAR Code of Ethics, and he's like, you're in line, like you're in alignment, you're fine. It feels weird, it doesn't feel good, but you're in alignment. So to that, I just was very incredibly grateful for agents and folks here having my back.
Do you have a favorite?
I love that. I'm going to piggyback off of Jen and say that just brings me to teamwork.
Absolutely.
If you're spot on, you can't have anything without trust. And I think the second was communication, because if you don't have honest and open and transparent communication, you got no idea where you stand or where you stand with others or where they stand with you. And so I think communication is number 2, but right after that, I'm going to jump into teamwork.
Love that. Awesome.
I'm gonna go with, so I don't have a favorite, they're all my favorite, that's the whole point. But I love that, so we just had Red Day, right? And I think that to me was commitment, which we as a company make a commitment to give back, and I challenged our team to be committed to that at a level that had never happened before in this market center. And we had a record amount of attendance and participation. And that wasn't just like an arbitrary commitment. It was giving back, which is to me just really big. So that's mine for the month.
I always tell my clients the one winner, no deal. Right. I mean, I've worked at a lot of other brokerages, and that's a color waves difference. I mean, sounds cheesy sometimes, especially when you want to win for your client, obviously, but everyone wants to win.
Yeah.
I want to jump on that one because right now with people, I think, overpricing some of these properties, I don't feel comfortable saying to my buyer, oh yeah, let's go, let's give them more money. I've had to tell people, let's go an hour or 2 feet, let's walk away from this deal. It's the best thing. And guess what? Things change. Anybody buy any Bitcoin?
Well, it's all about looking out for your clients. That's interesting. Some I have clients who they want to pay that much. Okay, that's their choice too.
Yeah.
I'm here to help them either way, help them make the right decision for themselves. If they want to pay that much and that's what it's worth to them,
yeah.
Okay, but if it's not, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so I'm just gonna move on. I know obviously the reason that we rescheduled the team meeting was to remember the life of one of our founding agents, Michael Parolo. And so I want to thank everyone who attended his viewing or the funeral. I know that the family right now is in need of some support financially, just because of, this was very unexpected for them. So I just wanted to share in this a couple different ways. If you are in a position to donate some money to his family to give back to them, the Market Center is working on getting a grant through KW Cares, but since it is a bit of a process and the need is immediate, we figured this would be a good way to give back right now. So I know that, not everyone has ways to give online, but if you do have like a Venmo or a PayPal on the screen, there are the bit.ly links associated with either. If you happen to, be on your computer at home, you can take your phone and use the QR codes. They will take you directly to his daughter's accounts to help give back. And so that's kind of what we're doing right now. And as the market center as well, we are going
So
to,
that's a Bitly scan, not is that a Venmo scan?
yeah, the QR code will take you to either. And then the bit.ly is just like a short link, a condensed link that you can type in instead of,
'Cause
you know.
It's not taking directly.
Will you email that out?
Yes, I will email the bit.ly links for all of them as well in a recap email after this. I'd also like to highlight that the Market Center in the new office, one of our conference rooms will be commemorated to him. And we haven't quite decided on a name, I don't think, but something like, you know, the Parolo room or something.
Just to jump in, we're also working on some community events in regards to raising some funds for his family. So I am working on getting a donation letter so that, you know, we can reach out to his circles and, you know, see if we can give bigger. I know one of the ideas we had was to do like a spaghetti dinner, or, you know, even at a restaurant, have them donate some of their proceeds to the family. So that is in the works. We will provide updates on those as we have them. And if anybody's interested in helping out, definitely reach out to either me or Joe or Alana or Doug or anyone here at the office. We will definitely, you know, loop you in with all of our communications and, you know, get that set up for his family.
And I know there was a couple people that had purchased hoagies or pizza off of me for my daughter's fundraiser and were looking to catch up with me today. What I would rather you do is I would rather you guys donate that money to Mike. So rather than square up with me, just donate that money to Mike's family, please.
So I'm in the Venmo, I'm sending money right now, and it's to Anna Marie, which is his daughter,
It's at A Marie
at
74.
Anna Marie, yeah,
Yeah,
so,
A Marie 74.
yeah, so I'm sending it, and I'm just putting in the memo, just in memory of Michael, so.
And if you send it via PayPal, it does give you the option. I would send it as friends and family, not as goods and services. That way the family gets the full amount.
Mhm.
Eva, if we do a spaghetti dinner, rope me in so I can rope in the Savaggios. We like.
You got it.
All right, yeah, no, I appreciate that as well, Doug, for having agents give back to the family instead of you when you were, you know, doing your own fundraiser. So appreciate that. I know it's kind of, you know, it's going to be a bit weird, I think, but definitely going to be trying to move on and grow and remember him together, especially with the new building. And we will keep his plaque on the wall for ALC as well, since he was one of our founding members and a consistent participant in activities and you know, outreach events for his community. So just remembering him in that way as well. So let's just jump into some other things. These are a little bit old of pictures, but you know, they are still fairly recent of the progress being done at the new office. So, you know, they're putting in electrical right now. I haven't driven past it recently, but I know some other agents have, and you know, I've heard that they're moving along pretty quickly, which is nice.
Chris found some secret parking for us.
Oh yeah.
There's a parking lot right behind.
Oh yeah, there's a parking lot where you can park for free for an hour. and it's right behind the FNB Bank in the alley. You can't miss it.
Awesome. All right, and then we got some May birthdays. A lot of May birthdays.
gosh.
Yeah.
Birthday, maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
The May babies.
Yeah. So, what is today? Today, I don't know what today is. The 24th. All right. Yeah. So happy birthday, happy belated birthday to everyone and Jordana on the 14th. Upcoming, we have Aaron. And I don't want to say Ewing. Yeah. I do believe he's on this call, and then also Jayla at the end of the month. So happy birthday to everybody. And then happy anniversary to our agents who joined us in May. So we have Jean, I do believe she's on this call. And then we have Boucher, James, and Anton. So happy anniversary to everyone who's a part of the KW family.
Yay, happy anniversary, guys.
Woo! And then for last month, we only had one new agent join, but he's with our Altoona office, Andrew. You might have seen him in some of the PC classes that we do. So we're doing the
Welcome,
work.
Andrew.
Yeah.
So he's happy with us.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got that. And then also last month, Maddie Greiger capped. And so congrats to her.
Congrats, Maddie.
Yeah, so she can enjoy the 100% commission now, which is definitely pretty great incentive to cap. And then for last month, just because I think everyone can agree that April was a bit of a slow month for everybody. So, we're coming in strong with all twos for our top 5 agents.
Sideways high, I love that.
Yeah. But I know that at least for this month, things are definitely looking up.
Oh, yeah, they're heating up.
Yeah. So next month's team meeting, we're definitely gonna have better numbers than this. So, and then this was also for last month's market center numbers. It really does kind of just reflect that, production was a bit down across the board. And I know that it's not just our market center who kind of limped through. So
Q1 was really interesting for a lot of people. I was at Career Visioning last week, and the agent in front of me is one of the top agents in the Philly market. He said his first quarter was down 53%.
wow.
Yeah, and this is a guy that's doing hundreds of deals a year. So, that's just really interesting. But if you look, a couple of the numbers that pop out to me. One is year to date, we're essentially even on closed units year to date, which I think is really good to see, because given that we've had that constriction in the market and knowing that the MLS and board have seen a constriction, we're like in the running. Listings also is a wash, right? So sometimes not losing is a win. And listings taken volume being up 50% is massive for the year-to-date number. That is a huge number. And then contracts written is a lead indicator of future profit. So the fact that those are in the green in terms of contracts written being up year-to-date 17% and contracts written volume being up 8%, that means that we've written more business than we wrote in the same period before, and that we are you'll see that profit in the future, right? That's the lead indicator of eventual closings. So there you go.
That's what I heard. I heard, show me the money.
Yeah. If you can't make the money if you don't write the contracts. So seeing those numbers being up is fantastic.
And I was talking to a friend of mine who's an agent in California. She said she had a slow first quarter. And we were talking about another friend who had a really great first quarter in Chicago. And I said, okay, so if that person had a really great first quarter, you didn't have a great first quarter, and I didn't have a great first quarter, but there's how many quarters left in the year? So I can have a great second quarter, I can have a great third quarter. And if someone had a great first quarter. So you can just make it up later.
Mhm. All right, and then I just wanted to plug this, for the people in the room, I'll just move my little floating square of Chris Keller. But so I did this when I like first started, and then things got busy, and then I kind of stopped. And so now we're doing it again, new. So if you have a closing that's happening in the office, I would love to be notified in advance, in general. If you happen to just walk in and be like, hey, I have a closing in 10 minutes, I can still be like, that's awesome. I will slap you in a conference room. But if you give me a little bit of forewarning on it, and just give me a little bit of insight about, you know, the address and who your client is, I can draft up a cute little new home, new keys, a little poster to celebrate and have ready for you in the conference room, just as like a little extra touch for client care.
It's a nice, like, personalized touch.
Yeah.
I think it makes a difference for sure.
And then maybe if it happens to be like, you know, maybe their first investment property, or like their first rental that they're going to convert, or like their first flip, or any of those things, if you just let me know, I can personalize it a little bit further. Instead of, you know, new home, new keys, be like, congrats on the first, you know, like Airbnb, or like, you know, like growing your wealth, something like that. So that's also kind of why I would like to be notified in advance. But yeah, so just a little plug. Megan, are you on this call? I think I saw you jump in a little bit earlier. Megan Link is just going to talk to us a bit about compliance. I'm sure that if you've done any deals within the past probably about 2 months, you've probably seen my name pop up when I reject your folders.
At midnight, Megan?
Yeah, I want to say that it's not actually me. The ML at the end stands for Megan Link. So
yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to chat. So at least 18 of you know who I am, because I got 18 new files last night, which is incredible. You guys have been growing. 527 files in total I've worked through, and it's only been a month and a half. So I'm super proud of your growth from an outsider. I feel like I'm an insider there, but kudos to all of you. And I just wanted to say, you guys are actually doing a very phenomenal job. I was about to give 2 adjectives back to back. I'm sorry. So I did want to just take a moment just to highlight a very small area that seems to be a consistent miss. And again, we're here just as cheerleaders of your business to make sure that if any questions are ever asked, your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed. It just helps you tremendously in any situation. So as a cheerleader, we want to make sure all of your work is buttoned up so that there's never any problems down the road. So missing dates, and then a lot of agent signatures are missing as well. So you guys have been submitting your files as soon as you have all of the documents that you need in that specific folder, which is excellent. That means we're finding out as your file is moving through the process of being closed, and we can catch those as quickly, and you can get that signed right away. If it has closed and you do need something like that, I'm sorry, we're just going to be the bad guy. There's workarounds for that. You can always give me a call. I think my number is everywhere in the office. I do usually sign ML or Megan. This way, you know it's me. You can call me if you've had any questions about why something was rejected. I do always leave a comment about what's missing in your commands. If you don't see it, or you just want to call me instead, I'm game for that. And let me see if I can think of anything else. I really think that that's it, guys. Otherwise, you guys have been doing a phenomenal job. I'm super proud of you. Compliance has come a very long way So does anybody have any questions about how the process has been going?
Thank you for clearing out those files.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. I will just say, if you're ever missing a document and you know you're going to be missing it, if you add a comment, I'll review that even before I start processing. So that's just one more check mark before you won't have to call me later because it got rejected. So I'll always read the comments first.
Awesome. In my recap email, if it's okay with you, Megan, I'll put your cell phone number in there and your email address, just so if people have any compliance related questions, that they can just reach out directly to you.
That'd be great.
Awesome. So yeah, so
Does anybody have any feelings or questions about compliance?
she actually just asked that. You jumped out.
I know, sorry. Can we talk about why compliance is important?
I mean, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's-
you know,
that's like
walk
the-
a
When you
straight
say
line.
you, so let me just, you said you guys.
What did you guys?
I
I
just-
took my fire. I'm gonna add on to that.
I mean, that's a really important choice of words because we all have real estate licenses, right? So the brokerage has its own license and then you have yours. And when you say you guys, you mean me and you guys.
That's all, but in us, you know, that's a good, but also, I mean, we gotta be out there doing the right thing.
Yes.
Basically, just,
Yeah.
you know, it's contracts and a lot of money and a lot of modalities that you're dealing with, so you wanna make sure.
Yeah.
You want, you know, it's good.
That's an awesome answer because you know the legalities and the being smooth. Let me share with you an experience I had when I talked. I actually have been calling some of the agents who you guys are closing with, right, on the other side of the deal. So I actually called somebody that closed the deal with
Mike.
Mike's like, what? And I just, so I've been calling those agents and just thanking them for doing business with our brokerage, okay? And it's an interesting experience to make that call. He had great things to say about you.
43rd.
Oh, he was nice.
He said you were nice,
Oh.
so you guys were besties.
Yeah.
So,
105, who wouldn't we ask? Conversation, we're not talking about.
I'm not, I don't get into the weeds, I don't get into the weeds on these conversations, but let me just share with you that that's a really interesting way to hear about how well or not well we're doing. Because the feedback is like, hey, your agent didn't know what they were doing. Okay, appreciate that, we're working on our training. Or, hey, your agent knocked it out of the park, they were a pleasure to work with. So just thinking about like, what does that do for you in the community? What kind of reputation does that create for you? What happens when you have to write a deal on that agent's listing again and you bombed the first one, right? And now you're in a multiple offer and they're looking at your contract, which is filled out like a fourth grader, and the competitor fills out their contract the right way. Like these are the little details. So like it comes as compliance and that ends up being kind of an icky conversation and Megan has to send you a nastygram at 2 a.m. But let me just share with you, like there are a lot of impacts when it comes to compliance. Like the state being they're like the ones that come in and slap you around, right? It's not even about that. It's like, are you running a really good business? And compliance and regulation and having high standards. So I'm looking at those 4 words there, right? Compliance, law, yeah, there's some legal side. Regulations, yeah, we're regulated by the state. And standards, yes, do we have high standards? Absolutely, right? When you look at the Y4C2Ts, I would argue that if you're not running a very compliant business, you're probably not committed in all things, right? So, I just share that because those calls to the co-broke agents is
Can I
really
just put a shout out to Amanda? She is incredible with other agents and with her clients too, but I mean, just these other agents, I sometimes have to be the bad cop. I'm like, this has to get done, it has to get done now, like to these people, and they're like, Amanda's the best. I'm like, she is. So I just want to give that shout out that with agents, Amanda's just knocks it out of the park.
I agree with that. Like I just literally had multiple offers on a multi-unit and one of them was cash and it was the one that my seller was gonna take. And that agent did not get me documents back or proof of funds or anything for 3 days, so we're moving on.
Yeah.
So your reputation, your character, your commitment to compliance and follow through can make or break your client's offer and their future potential of owning that property. It can really be. a
Imagine
deal
making
breaker.
that call. Hey, I suck at communication, so we didn't get. the
You
deal."
think that's what she's telling
Probably
him?
not,
No.
but I'm just saying, that's the reality.
Yeah, but
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And my phone rings and I see that on my caller ID, I'm like, oh, no, you know, like that's,
And it's interesting what you just said too about, I had a multiple offer situation with a listing. And one of the buyers, it was his property, he was gonna buy it. When he sent the pre-approved or proof of funds, he didn't have his name on the proof of funds. I'm like, well, I need something that has, so it was really, really tight between two offers. And it was like, okay, this guy's got his, excuse my French, shit together, and this guy doesn't.
who do you
And
want to work with?
who do I want to work with? Who knows what they're doing here?
That's what happened to.
Yeah, you know what you're doing and who you want to work with, but also just have your all your stuff together when you're going to present an offer.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell your clients to present it, make sure their name's on
Yeah.
proof of funds, make sure all that stuff's done ahead of time so that the agent's not having to go back going, you can't just send me a number. Like I need to know that this, because I don't want to babysit the file either. So if you're, but one more thing too is pick up the phone. Pick up the phone because when you have multiple offer situations and I got 5 buyers and the person who picks up the phone and talks to me, I'm remembering that
Hey,
person.
what's one of the C's?
100%.
Communication.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
I mean, it's I know, it's
Same
communication
thing.
C for us to understand, so it's also about making sure you're communicating the right way. And yet I would say, you know, it is communication. So-
Yeah, and so many people, they send an offer and they don't call you. What if it gets stuck in the email or you've got 25 other emails going on? You're not gonna see their offer come through necessarily or take it seriously. So always just, whenever you put an offer in, talk to the other agent. If you talk to them either way right before you're about to sign the offer, you'd be amazed how much information
Oh
you
my
can get.
gosh.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Thanks, Megan, thanks for all
Yeah.
you're
Thank you,
doing.
Megan.
Thank you.
Megan's keeping the sting
Thank
away.
you all.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you all back.
She's in the echo.
She is.
All right.
Yeah, the lobby's like 47 feet tall.
Red Day. Thank you for everyone who attended Red Day. I know that we touched on it towards the beginning of the meeting, but I just wanted to highlight again, these are our 3 groups. So we have Pittsburgh up in the top left, in the bottom left is Johnstown, and then on the right is Altoona. So we were all giving back at all 3 market centers on that day, working hard. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate everyone who took some time out of their day to, do some gardening in Pittsburgh.
I would love to hear if anybody would share what Red Day was like for them, like what they took away from it or what their experience was. I don't know who's online, all I can see is Megan's.
I want to share, first of all, I've been here at this market center for 6 years. And I want to say that the very first year we had about that many, maybe a couple of more, but that's been 6 years ago. And ever since then, it's been like a drastic trickle down, like literally 2 people, maybe 3. And that includes the office folks, who are kind of like, oh, we're here. I was super grateful for the woman at the garden. Immediately was asking for Alana. Where's Alana? Where's the girl that I've been talking to? She totally was looking forward to meeting you. Had a great job that you did. And I thank y'all for that, for the effort that you put into that. That's really important to everybody. Otherwise it wouldn't have been organized. But it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day and it was beautiful weather. I could only be there half the day, but I was bummed to miss the second half because I know that's where more people showed. But it was good to see a lot of new faces because oftentimes we don't see them in the office. So yeah, I got to see a lot of new faces.
I love that.
Yes.
This would have been like my first time going. I was so pumped for it. I'm like seeing Jenna. I'm like, Jenna, you going? I'm going. We're like, oh, Jenna, you want to Red Day, right? I said, I want to be there. Because last year would have been, that started like what, September 2020. So last year would have been my first time, but I ended up having
a baby. And
Aw.
then this year, that same baby got me so sick. He had a cold, and I think with me, I caught it and it like developed into the flu. So I was like so bummed out.
Oh,
I
man.
remember
And I
getting
told
your
Alana, I
call.
was like so bummed. I was like, why I didn't even come?
You still did your part because you didn't give that to any of us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you
just
for
like,
that.
oh gosh, maybe, what is my part?
Give where you live unless it's germs.
Yeah. Also, like to add, we had our vendors there. You were there, Todd was there, busting it out. Hey, Todd. Becky Offit showed up with her new baby and her little boy. Fauna showed up. I thought that was amazing to have our go-to vendors make a presence. I thought that was great.
I loved it. And I think there's a really cool, I think it's so awesome, like those bottom two pictures, like we're excited about Pittsburgh, but like, think about them. They were with another brokerage, right? And that other brokerage doesn't know what Red Day is. And so all these agents didn't know what Red Day was. And so they basically got, ice bathed into our culture because we're like, hey, welcome to our culture and we give back on Red Day. And they're like, okay. And so they figured it out and like they both found local ways to do that. Doug just, got here. So I think that's really awesome that all of those agents like picked up the baton and said, cool, we're all about that. And if you look, I mean, between those two, they probably had their combined total was about what we had. That means I'm going to conservatively say that through the course of the day, we had over 40 people give back between the communities.
Mhm.
That is just, you said it was 2.
Yeah.
We 20x'd it.
Yeah.
That's what makes.
Can I just add something? We didn't finish our project that day, but our agents went back this past Thursday and finished it.
I see Keith on the screen. Keith and I were like, we crushed that garden in the back there. We were, and it was awesome. Josh, like we had an awesome time. So I love getting to go out and do that type of stuff. So.
If I can share my favorite memory, it was when Jayla showed Keith how to make a
Yeah.
TikTok or a boomerang.
Yeah.
That was really, honestly, it was a fun moment.
It was a lot of fun. We really appreciate you guys inviting us to do things. I mean, me and Todd are a party of 2 over there, so we're like the 2 best reps that anyone could have. But it's like super fun. I mean, I've worked at home for like the last, besides the day jam, I work for PNC at home. And it gets lonely, it's like, so I'm like, yeah, I get to come in the office. I get to see all your faces and meet you guys. So we just really appreciate you guys for letting us be involved, and we're happy to help out always.
Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you. We're so glad.
Yeah.
Can I share my feedback on Red Day? Hopefully I have good service if y'all can hear me.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I was just talking about it yesterday, I think. What a commitment we had. There were so many people there that are dual career. And that for me screamed volumes that the commitment that our agents have. I mean, people took personal days, we took off work, not like real estate, but like day jobs took off to be able to volunteer and give back to the community. And Joe has said it several times along the way, just our market center having such an involvement in the community and the drive to give back. And I guess for me, I never really had a good perspective on that until Red Day, when I saw all of the people who took off work and came out and were just so committed to spending the day out there on that farm. And that was just like all the warm and fuzzy feelings in that moment. So I'm grateful for everyone to be there, and, for Keller Williams for that, like having that opportunity.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
And then also circling back to, our 2 little satellite offices. I think I saw Karen on for Johnstown. I guess this is a great space for our agents in Johnstown if they want to share, any feedback or wins that they've had, this past month or so. Or, to ask questions and just kind of a little platform for them. let's see.
They, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
there's
know if she's still there. Oh, yeah, Karen is still there. Fran was gonna be on if it was last week. and
Oh,
then
yeah.
She said that she wasn't able to make this meeting, so, I don't know if Karen wants to hop in or not. I can share, it was very tough. It was a tough month for us. So between the last team meeting and this team meeting, Johnstown had a loss as well. Ryan Hyder, young agent, he had just come over, so less than, I think, right at like 2 weeks, honestly, that he had been over. He was in his 20s and he passed away. And I will say it was probably one of the saddest, every funeral is sad for us, right, blanket statement, but it was such a sad day, like, to see all of these really young people who were really obviously hit so hard. And I went up to Johnstown and I went to the service and I just sat in the back. I just want to stay out of the way. And they were like, okay, so if anybody at the end, they were, if anybody wants to come and speak, process by and speak to the family, then you can do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is not great. But I did it, right? And so I was like, well, I drove here and I want to, like, I just want to share it to the family. And so I saw his mom and she told me, she said, thank you so much to your company for giving my son the opportunity that you did. And it means a ton to us. And so that is like, we take for granted every day, I think. And like, to know that his mom was just so grateful and proud of her son having the opportunity to come into real estate and to have that taken away so young. So I know that's really sad story, but I think it makes me grateful that we could have that impact on his family, right? So I've talked to Fran since, and I know that there's people that are hurting in that office with that loss, and so but as an office, they're doing great. And I encourage, by the way, if you're not, follow the satellite office Facebook Facebook pages rather, so that you can see because they're posting their listings, we're posting listings, like, you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff, like help each other. So
We get we do get a lot of shares from agents over here for stuff that we're doing. So I mean, we're seeing some of that interaction. Good. It's it's encouraging for us out there in the sticks to see what you guys are doing, right? Is motivating to see that you guys, the activity that you guys are putting forth. So we cheerlead our agents out there to take part in what you guys are doing too, because it's a reminder that, just because this day or this week might feel stale or it might feel slow, look, there's activity, there's stuff moving, the ball's moving. We just have to keep going, and that helps to be able to see what you guys are doing. To see that board go up is inspired. Our girls in our office are going to do a board for listings. We bought stencils this past week, so we're getting ready to do some wall work. But just seeing some of the stuff that we're doing, from office to office, it's just that extra little push. It's always nice. That's cool.
I also want to say for Johnstown, I like following their Facebook page because for this past 10 days, they're celebrating the countdown to the end of the school year.
Yeah, no, but
and
the way they're doing
It's
it,
awesome.
yeah.
you have to follow it. Don't tell them.
Yeah, no, it's
it's
you,
good.
you have
to follow the
It's good.
KW Johns. Yeah,
It's
KW Johnstown.
it's very wholesome. I think it's really fun. And so it always makes me smile seeing that come up on my Facebook feed of them, doing the countdown for the last day of school and, being grateful to teachers and saying thank you and stuff. So
now that you guys are promoting it, is it just KW Johnstown?
if you look up KW exclusive Johnstown, it should be like one of the first things that come up. I think their profile image is a black background with a red heart with KW in the middle of it. So yes, yeah, very cute.
And Johnstown's a unique community. It's really, there's a close knitness to it. And it's a, you know, there's a lot of heritage there. So, and Fran and Karen do a really nice job of promoting that image. And I'm excited.
Yeah.
What'd you find?
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
But they're doing,
KW exclusive Johnstown, you gotta follow.
they do a really good job of promoting the heritage of that and that close knitness of that. I'm really excited to see that office's potential when that growth continues to expand and what they're able to do.
They added an agent this week. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnstown as an area itself is like, I mean, I'm not an expert in Johnstown, but like one of my friends from college, she was from Johnstown, always talking about, I didn't know anything about Johnstown and flood. You always was talking about Johnstown. Friend of mine who grew up, remember I was telling you that neighborhood when you, what's that town called where you had the listing?
Which one?
No, I can't remember, but I know I emailed you about it, but anyway, he was the OBGYN up in, was a small
Portage.
hospital. Yeah, Portage, thank you. I heard the pizza is like
Yeah.
a drug up there. I don't know. That's right. Portage pizza.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
Is that
just,
Pizza Hut?
No, you had the Altoona.
Portage, I heard though, once you got, it's like, it's good, I heard.
The Altoona pizza is a whole
But that whole
different.
community, and then he
Road
married
trip.
someone who wanted to move to Virginia, so I mean, really, when I hear of
Not for
Johnstown, it's
Altoona
like
pizza.
everybody who's from there has
Yeah.
like such deep roots. I
It's a
feel like.
unique, yeah, it's a unique community in a lot of ways. But the heritage of that town, there's a lot of pride in that community. Fran and Karen do a really, really
Yeah,
nice
that's
job.
true. Yeah,
promoting it.
Portage. Drug pizza, very important drug pizza.
All right, and then just want to see, I know that we have Darren on, and then of course Doug's here. If
Liz
any,
is at a listing appointment, so that's a win.
We always.
Ooh.
And it's on this- No, listen, we're on pace to have our best month year to date. We're in stride considering how weird, I heard somebody mention how strange first quarter was. It really strange. Considering how strange it was, we're still on transaction and volume pace for last year. And we had a lot of volume to replace with some agents that had shifted and I'm not in full blown production any longer. So we had some volume there to replace, and we had all new agents. I mean, half of our office is brand new agents. That being said, we have the most active listings right now that we've ever had currently. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, my math was correct. I was trying to tally it up on the way over here. I think we have of those listings, I think just under half of them are pending. So, you know, that's great, but you know, now it's time to get back and make sure we keep that listing number up. Signs and yards are the best promoter of our industry and of what we do as a brand. And we're getting a lot of signs out there. So that's, I think, our biggest win, other than we have two young ladies that are still within their first calendar year of being agents, are setting the world on fire. They're just doing a phenomenal.
My friend paused from delivering a baby to let me know that it's Parkway.
Parkway Pizza. Okay. She paused from delivering a baby.
I'm sure the mom's thrilled, like.
It's that important.
But no, I mean, we're excited about what the future holds. We had a budget meeting yesterday. We're talking about doing a kind of a grand opening in September. Kind of sounds odd, but I feel like if we have a tail end third quarter, start fourth quarter with a little bit of a jolt of excitement. So we're kind of gearing up and ramping up some some marketing and some branding, and coming up this summer doing some guerrilla marketing. So a lot of really exciting things just starting to happen in Altoona, and we're, we could not be happier with where we're at results wise, and we haven't even loaded the gun yet. So it's just it's an exciting time to be a part of this, and then obviously being over here and being surrounded by everyone that is committed to what the Keller Williams beliefs are. It's it's made a difference for us. It's gonna continue to do, and I'm excited for what we're doing. So,
Well, that speaks volumes of you guys.
our agents are doing the work. I mean, our agents they're doing what they need to do, and transitions are never easy. And when you transition from something that was stale and had no, really no agent support system behind it to something that's like this, that's like going, that's like if you've ever gotten out of a sauna and jumped into a swimming pool. It's like that, it's really, when you go from that staleness and that you're not used to that support, you're not used to this, to what we have here, it is a little bit of a culture shock. But when you start to embrace it, and sometimes it's like drinking water out of a fire hose. But when you start, yes, when you start to embrace, those things, and you do it in the most simplistic way, one thing, it all starts, the blocks start to build. You can really sense the momentum shifting. I know Alexa, I don't know if she's on, but Alexa just joined KWYP a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, she's one of the ones I was talking about. We have an agent here. Again, we talk about communication. We have an agent that's out here, Lisa Whitman, who has a listing in Crescent. Darren shot her house, shot the listing for her.
For the camera.
Yes. For the camera. He shot the listing. I believe there was some arrangements with signage, but there was also a client that was interested in it. We put it up in our messenger group over the weekend and Alexa snagged it. So now, that's communication. That's two agents, 100 miles apart, communicating with each other, teaming up to get something moving. So we got dominated the last. He's enjoying it. And Linda and Fran, Johnstown and Altoona, they teamed up on 2 deals last month. So I mean, it's just a testament to what we can do as a group when we're really locked into what we do best and work together. And Red Day was obviously a big example of that. So this continues to be exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And then I know that a little squares out of the way. I know that Joe wanted me to put this in for kind of everyone for the meeting learning moment, objections versus conditions. So I don't know if you want
So, yeah, so one, I guess I'll move the rest of the camera. So one is, what does everybody think of taking just a few moments from every meeting and just having a quick, like, bite-sized piece of like conversation that we can learn from? Is it okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about objections versus conditions. Can anybody share with me the definition difference between those two? So if you're talking to a consumer, what's the difference between an objection and a condition?
Joe, I don't know if I have the right answer for you, but condition makes me think of something the consumer has to have, something that's maybe a parameter, something that's maybe creating the need. And an objection to me is like, the consumer is objecting to the cosmetics, the kitchen, the basement, some element of the product.
Good answer. Anybody have any other thoughts? I'm gonna leave the floor open.
I feel like at a base level, conditions sort of set the boundaries, whereas an objection is kind of like a hard no.
Okay. Anybody else? I like this now. Everybody's gonna take their best shot. I saw Ryan in there. I want Ryan to take a swing.
I was thinking of it from a listing standpoint, not
Okay.
from a buyer standpoint. So an objection might be, they don't want to pay that commission, or, you're trying to come up with a solution for them to still be in your side.
Mhm.
And a condition could be, okay, we're of a certain faith and we can't have showings from here to here. Like,
Yeah.
that's just something, a workaround versus an objection. You literally need to solve that issue.
Okay. Anybody else? Like I'm poking at Ryan if he wants to take a swing. Or anybody. I saw some good agent people. Keith,
Where are you at, Ryan?
Darren, Allie. Okay, so the right idea is in the room, it's just not in the right place, okay? So here's the difference. An objection is something that needs, that's something that needs clarified. Actually, they both need clarified, but an objection is something that can be resolved, and a condition is a boundary. Actually, you said the right word.
Yeah.
So a condition is essentially, a condition is something that's essentially like a hard rule, okay? So, or something, let me rephrase that, or something that can be resolved, but is a hard, firm thing, and an objection can be surface level. So a great example is, might be, we're not willing to pay the commission. And commission conversations obviously get all sorts of squirrely, but is that an objection or a condition?
An objection. I don't think it's.
Objection.
You can have a conversation around it, like
What
why?
if they owe too much and it's a condition?
That's different. That's a
different.
conversation.
That's correct. So that's where you have to start to ask those questions. So the meeting learning moment is this: go 3 deep. When you hear something that comes up in a situation where you're trying to understand more about it, right? So tell me why you wouldn't be willing to pay that commission, or why you feel uncomfortable with that. Okay, tell me more about that, right? So going 3 deep on these things will help you identify whether it's something that can conditionally be resolved, or whether it's something that's a hard and fast issue. The reason I'm bringing this up is because the market is starting to shift. Does anybody disagree with me?
No.
Good, because you're usually wrong. Okay, so the market's starting to shift. What you're gonna see is that like blazing speed paced market type of behavior is gonna start to go away, and the objections and conditions are gonna start to rise up in a new way. And this is going to be, so Gary Keller's top 100 mastermind is today. Does anybody know? You might.
Elaine Shuttler's there.
Okay, does
I'm
anybody
not
know?
sketches there.
Does anybody know what his title is for the top 100? Oh, Allie says, I was reading scripts, and the one I was reading was the 3D. Okay,
I could interrupt her during the meeting like
I'll tell you.
friend.
So
Okay, what is?
Gary's
What do I
agenda,
get?
Gary's agenda title for the top 100 mastermind, top 100 agents in KW is war. Sounds scary.
It's what? War? Is it war?
War, opposite of peace.
I love it. I love it.
I don't love it. But the reason that the reason that I wanted to have a learning moment that was quick hitting and something that would add value is because we are going to see more of this. As you're meeting with people and you hear things like the market is changing, that might be an objection, or it could be a condition, right? So asking those additional questions. Allie just said she was practicing scripts, and the one this morning was going 3 deep. So my challenge to you is to take a question or to take a scenario and literally just practice it. It doesn't take a lot of time. It can take you 4 minutes, right? So it might be price. Okay, price. I think that I want to list it for, you were saying, right? People are starting to maybe list for too much, right? So when we were appreciating at 15%, like they could just hedge that bet and throw out a crazy price and it might actually fly. Well, now you might actually start to get people who you start to have pricing objections, and you have to ask them, hey, tell me, where did that price come from? Okay, if you didn't get that price, would you still, would you sell, right? Going to that second tier question. And then the third tier question was like, okay, at what price would you absolutely not consider selling? And now you can anchor them down. You guys see the difference there? Because you could get away with maybe not digging into those objections or conditions when the market was just doing all the easy work for you. We're gonna need to have a lot more skill-based, tactical, high caliber agent conversations to get through. And it doesn't mean we're not gonna succeed. Listen, like there's plenty of wealth that will change hands over the next couple of years with whatever happens with the market. And there will be plenty of business. But if we don't have conversations that help you, then I'm not doing a great job. So
Allie and I were talking about this last night because I was telling her I've never been this busy, really active busy, like a brand new listing every single week, going active every single Monday for the last 6 weeks. 4 under contract listings, 4 under contract buyers, 2 multi-units that are going under, closing over 5 million in the next 45 days.
that's awesome.
And I was telling her, I was like, there's no inventory, so there should be everybody out there arm wrestling to get that business. She's like, how is it coming? You know, like we have to put our finger on why is that coming? And she goes, we're taking our unfair share. And so, you know, that's really that component that kind of fires you up, because like you said earlier, if we're not focusing on mastering the transaction and being compliant and being really good in servicing the client, and then also coupling that with great production and getting out there, you're just going to spin your wheels,
Yes.
you know? And so the business is out there to be had.
It always is. I mean, no matter what, I've been doing this since 2004, 2008. I just saw a picture of myself recently. I was top agent in January in like Prudential, you know, the
Yeah.
office, and it's like January 2008.
Do
It
the
doesn't
things.
matter.
Do the
Someone's
things.
gonna be,
That's right.
someone's gonna be selling houses. I think the hardest part in general is that transition.
Yes.
And once you're in the, because, you know, if you, right now, we've been going with, they're selling in 2 seconds and everyone's expectations is selling in 2 seconds.
Yes.
Now you just have to go in the appointment and go, okay, it's not selling in 2 seconds. And I think even, no matter how many, if you've been doing 1 year or a gazillion years, it's still hard. That transition is very hard to get in our mind, especially, I joke, you're going from being a hero to being a zero,
Yeah.
which, you know, you're not really a zero. You're still getting them good money and you're still doing well, but we're just going from, it's hard going from that, oh my God, I just got you 25 offers.
Yeah.
Some are still getting that,
Yes.
but some are not though.
That's right.
So here's a way to think about that, and by the way, this is a thank you all everybody for helping me plug my shift class, because if you're not having purposeful conversations about how to master this market that's coming and how to be a better agent, you're putting yourself further away. But those scripts are changing, right? The market, you know, will be sold in 24 hours. What happens if you're not, right? Because then you have to walk back that conversation. You already lose rapport, you already lose trust. So like, come to those types of classes, be a part of our conversations. You know, we have agent calls that call that I run. These are the things we're talking about, right? Because we want to help you win, right? Wherever you are, whether you're dual career and you want to do 4 transactions, that's great. Help, like come on and because if you go from 4 to 0, that's a crappy year, right? But if you go from 4 to 6 because of a conversation we have that helps you build a better skill, awesome, right? So
And just going back to you know, you have a lot of this fear right now, and I always see opportunity in the fear. I know you're an investor, so you see it too. And really, there's a lot of opportunity when actually Warren Buffett, one of my favorite quotes is he says, when people are fearful, be greedy, or people are greedy, be fearful. And during the 2008 market crash, he didn't buy houses, he bought Home Depot stock. So if everybody else is going that way, I used to have a manager who said, think of it as a 4-year-old soccer game. Anybody who has kids, they're all going to the same place, just go the other place.
I call that bumblebee soccer.
Well, and the good point there too is we have a lot of new agents in all the market centers. It's fake it till you make it. Like you get nervous when you're new because you don't have that transactional history. But these conversations, talking about statistics, talking about where the market's going, being able to have those substantive conversations at a party or out with friends or wherever, and being able to show that you're a student of the market is going to go a long way. People are going to start having trust in what you're saying.
Alana, how many new listings are on the board out there?
So there are currently 84 that are on there. I know that yesterday evening when I checked, that number has jumped to 87 total active. There have been, I think, 12 new listings within the past 7 days. So
Question,
It is what it is.
who wants an open house? Right, like
Now, that's a very good question.
We should
because
be
I have a hard
having-
time getting people to do open
we
houses.
should be having 70 open houses out of 87 listings.
I have a lot of vacant properties that need open houses.
Like, as market time rises, we need to be talking about that, right? Because as a community of agents, we will win together when we share those resources. If you have agents who have multiple listings, getting those agents that don't have any listings to get out there and hold those open houses, because as market time rises, you need to be doing those rollouts of your listings to be able to generate opportunities, because the market will no longer do the work for you.
Well, and also during the open houses, but I will say this too, making sure they have the right supplies, because I mean, and we all had signs, and so I think a lot of times people don't have signs and they're not bringing it up. So, making sure they have the right stuff, making sure they have the right training, the confidence, and how to do it on social media.
Did you just volunteer to do an open house class?
I am not the queen of open houses, but I'll do it if you need me to.
Yes.
But really, the sign, I mean, I had someone did an open house for me at a listing where it's off of a main road. If he had, I didn't know he didn't have sign. So I think also new people are afraid of speaking up and saying, what do I need and how do I get it?
Yeah,
Because I don't know. I wouldn't know if someone didn't tell me, so.
7th level open house in tactic for
Okay.
shift, huh?
That's not me, but okay.
I mean-
Hey, my first thing in the class, get a sign. That's
That's correct. Basic supplies. All right.
Yes.
All right. So I didn't want the learning moment to go super long, but I just wanted to share that. Chris, you had something?
I just want to throw out, I've been trying to find an agent to open house for me now for 2 weeks, and I've got 4 people on a team that don't have time to do it because they're all taking around buyers, but I would love to find somebody to do an open house for me. I'm putting 3 listings up this week, which I've never done, ever. And I've got 14 buyers I'm shopping for, so I need help with open houses.
Maybe we'll take this to the Facebook community and try to really rally especially our dual career agents who I think could use those, like that quick pick me
And
up.
I think, I think going back to, they need to have success. I'll tell you one thing I do with my open houses too, real fast. And sometimes I forget to mention it, but I try to mention it, which is if the buyer comes through the open house and buys the house and has another agent, I give 10% of my commission up. Because I think that's only fair that that person was there, they took the time out of their day. I got that idea from another agent from back in the day, and I paid out 10%. Didn't I pay you out 10%? I paid out 10% of my commission because what's fair is fair. And if they weren't hosting that open house that day, even though they had an agent, it wouldn't have sold. And so it can't just be do my open house. They have no one come in, nothing happens. Why would you want to do that again?
Yeah.
So people are like, well, am I going to get paid for this? What's the point? If there's no point, you're not going to get anybody to do an open house.
Can we regroup around the open house list of agents that are willing to be called and make sure that they're committed still to that? And then also we had an open house class here before talking about like what we were doing in more of a quasi buyer's market, which is like I was doing Facebook ads when I was hosting open houses for seasoned agents when I was brand new,
Yep.
$20, $25, but I would get 23 groups coming through my open houses, which sometimes you could sit there and get nobody, but I was getting people through and meeting people, and that was generating sales for
See,
me.
but you're doing what you're talking about back to the win-win.
Yeah,
If people feel like I'm just sitting there and no one's coming and I'm not getting
We
anything.
need
but
to
they
teach-
can't just
we
be
need to
warm
teach
bodies,
the-
they need
yeah.
to teach the
We
open
need to
house
teach the
like
open
success
house.
and
So
how to do it.
I think if everybody's on board, I think we could put that in place in June.
Yeah.
Before the next team meeting. So that's a great takeaway from the meeting. Thank you, everybody. Let's cruise.
I was also going to say that in my recap email, I'll have a little place in there to basically be like, reply if you're interested in wanting to show open houses, and then like maybe create like a little mini roster, and then post that resource in the Facebook group. So then like just have it in like the pinned post of like kind of like a running list, or in like access to view a Google Doc of agents who are interested in doing open houses.
Absolutely.
So I can do that. In June, on June 8th, there is an in-person agent mastermind. It is in Bluebell, PA. So I think early bird has already ended. So I think tickets are about $100 or so.
The keynote speaker for this is the author of The Lifestyle Investor. Nobody's excited about that?
I don't know who that
That's
is.
amazing. It's an awesome book, and that's gonna be really great. Also, I won't blow them up, but we have had agents from our market center be invited to speak on the panels at Agent Masterminds.
Say that again.
We've had agents from our market center
Oh.
be invited to speak on this panel for
Nice.
this round of Agent Masterminds.
Fantastic.
Yep. So I don't know for sure whether they've accepted or not, so I just don't want to blow up their spot, but I'm sure that.
Yeah, and then on May 30th that is Memorial Day, of course. Just wanted to let everyone know that we will be closed in observation of the holiday. And so
Agents that have hand money due, make note of that. There won't be anybody here. Like if your timelines mean that you have to have that in, be mindful of that right now if you're putting anything under contract right now.
And also, the last day of the month is the following day. So.
Please see me on Friday.
I was teeing you up.
I'm sorry. It's not on Tuesday. Friday's better, thanks.
yeah.
Does everybody know that? It's really kind of stinky if you're not paying attention to holidays at end of the month and Mondays and Fridays. Like keep in mind that that's kind of stinky.
I try to also never do my closings on a Monday or
Me
Friday.
either. Same.
I try to do Thursday or Tuesday.
Back in
Maybe
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't, I guess in the most respectful way possible, please don't need anything. I believe in your self-sufficiency, and I love you all for it. I will also physically not be in the States, so don't ask me anything. So, so yeah, that was my little thing. Also want to highlight
Big deal.
1 week.
1 week, you have to complete your CE before May 31st. If you are missing any requirements, there is a 30% discount that the CE shop is running. So State 30 is their promo code. If you happen to miss anything, I hope that you are not.
14 hours. You need to do all 14 hours. It is not optional.
Yes.
Start now, it's 2 hours a day, you'll be done by the time the deadline hits.
Or you binge it on
Let's keep
Saturday.
going.
It takes about 6 hours.
14-hour-long marathon.
Also, I mean, it's a holiday weekend, so you need to really keep in mind that you can't upload on Tuesday, or like,
Monday.
yeah, you can, but like on Monday, like that's,
Nobody's
you're
gonna
gonna
see it.
lose. And they're gonna lose time in processing, so keep that, they don't
And
want
it's
those last minute.
crazy right now on the state level.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get Anything done right now is just
Yeah.
nuts.
So there's my little gentle plug. Please do this. I
That's not
do.
gentle.
That was a
You
subtle-
you will not have a real estate license.
Yes, I do want to say thank you for our agents who have already renewed. I have a little stack that I'm growing. So if you have renewed already, you can come see me to sign your license, and then you can take your little pocket version if you do so desire. But yeah, so that was my little thing. And then last but not least, I know that we've been run over, but I appreciate everyone's patience. Carrie Ann with AJM, just gonna speak real
I won't
quick.
keep you too long.
Yeah.
But just for everybody who might be on the call, who doesn't see me or Todd or exactly know what we do. Because a lot of buyers don't really know what we do. They think when I get a mortgage, oh, I bank with PNC, so I'll go to PNC, which is great.
No, it's not
PNC
great. No,
doesn't
it's not.
care if you close on time or not. So we're a wholesale mortgage broker. We work with multiple lenders that, you know, we try to move as fast as we can so our buyers can too. We try to keep everything on track. What else do we do? I think the word broker, like people don't know, we're a support system for not only the buyers, but also our agents. We want to do as much as we can for you guys, so you can be out with your buyers, with your sellers, at your open houses. We want to get as many documents as we can for you and for our buyers. So we try to go that extra mile to track down, because, you know, if you have an investor who runs 3 businesses, he doesn't want to get his tax returns together, but he's going to give you, you know, if I ask for his CPA, I can gather all those for him. So we try to do that. Also with first-time home buyers, you don't want your first-time home buyer calling you every day, stressing out over their mortgage application. We're available to take calls on the weekends or in the evening. So it's really a good hand-holding thing for first-time buyers. We had a lady that told us it was fun, and I laughed at her, but we try to make it as smooth as possible because it can be a stressful process. You know, we'll go to we've been working with Catapult. I've been driving down Catapult, pick up checks to take to title agencies. Dollar Bank's not going to do that for you. So, you know, sometimes
if you have anybody that has any questions on mortgages, or if any of the agents have questions on mortgages, I am Todd's assistant. I'm also a licensed mortgage loan officer, so I can always assist. You might see me on his emails and tracking you guys down for certain things, but we try to keep it as easy as we can for you guys so that you can do what you do best. And that's just us doing what we do best, making it as smooth and as quick as possible. So if you have any questions, we're down the hallway, come visit us.
Thank you.
I know I can't show up at houses because I'm not licensed, but if anybody ever needs help at an open house, I bring donuts. So
Yeah.
feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to come help. You know, when you're walking someone around, I helped my one friend sign people in, so I'm always available to help with that kind of thing.
Yay.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, so
Carrie Ann, do I have permission to lunch those donuts?
Yeah, I'll bring you donuts whenever you want.
All right. We are updating, this is the last thing I promise. We are updating our preferred vendors list. Obviously AJM is that for our mortgage brokers. But so for plumbers, electricians, general contractors, septic tanks, I don't know how big they are in Pittsburgh, but you know, so roofers, stagers, interior design, literally any and everything that you could possibly think of. We are updating it because the last preferred vendor list we have is from like 2019. So trying to get that up to date. The QR code in my recap email, I will also send the link to the Google Forms. If you happen, you can put multiple people in for each thing. So like, let's say you have two painters that you really like, you can put them both in. And so it itself is like super, super long because I put in like as many things that I could think of that you might need or like resource wise during the home buying or selling process. QR code there. I will have a link to the Google Forms, like I said, in the email. If you just have, like 5 minutes to just scroll through really quick and do that. And then, if you ever have something come up off the top of your head, you're like, oh, I forgot to add this person because I remembered that I really liked, how the lawn care that they do or something, then it allows multiple entries. So you can go back in and then add more stuff. So just my little plug.
That's awesome.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. I will also have a recap for how you felt about this meeting included in my recap email. Next team meeting is June 21st. So I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you for your patience. I know that we ran over, but yeah, I just appreciate everybody and I hope you have a good rest of your week.
Thank you, Alana.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anyone's available at 12, we do have a guest speaker lined up that Doug was able to get for us.
American Lifestyle Magazine
Okay.
is going to remind, Jen's not.
I used to do it, my family called it the Jordy magazine.
I know.
It's for Reminder Media, I believe is the parent company, but it's American Lifestyle Magazine. We've been trying to get on the same coordinating, something for them to do a presentation. And just so happens I was able to wrangle them in last minute to do something today at noon. So yes, if you can jump in, or if you're here in office, we'll have it on Zoom. It's a private room that I had set up last night, so if I have to be on Zoom, shoot me a text, and I'll get you the link. Reminder Media coming up here in about 40 minutes. So for anyone who's looking for some, not necessarily out of the box, I mean, you can speak a little bit about
To
it.
me, it's just not out of the box, it's top of mind
Top of mind.
in my sphere. It's top of mind.
Yeah, and
It's paid for itself over and over.
there you go. I was just gonna say, they're a really
Yeah.
good resource.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but glowing things, and then when I hear somebody from our team talking positive about it, I think it was a definite grab for us, so, yeah.
Awesome.
So yes, if you could join, please do. If you need a link, let me know. Shoot me a text and I will get you a link.